Members of the information systems field are devoted to finding ways to design, evaluate, and continuously improve the systems they work with. Information systems researchers are out to find and prove the utilization of innovative and unique ways to aid in this process. One interesting innovation has the potential to help professionals understand what users are experiencing through patterns in mouse cursor movements. This research supports the theory that user mouse cursor movements are influenced specifically by emotions. Before getting too deep into the research, let's take a quick look at defining what an emotion is. We normally think of emotions as simple words like sad, happy, or mad. In 1991, a psychologist named Richard Lazarus characterized emotion as an experience associated with cognitive appraisal of external factors or situations that arise. Our emotions are often displayed through physical gestures, posture, or facial features, and can regularly lead to specific actions to affirm or cope with the emotion. Previous neurological research suggests that negative emotions have selective, direct connections to brain structures that mediate motor responses, including movements in the arm and hand. These definitions of emotion lead directly into the theory that a lot of this research is drawn from. ACT, or attentional control theory, reviews the influence negative emotion has on mouse cursor distance and speed. The theory suggests that when people experience a negative emotion, they stop from being goal-driven to becoming stimuli-driven, becoming more aware of distractions in the environment that are causing or contributing to the negative emotions. Negative emotions like frustration, sadness, fear, and depression decrease attentional control as well as motor movement, which influenced research on how emotions affect mouse cursor movement. Past research on this topic led to some thought-provoking findings, but was found to be very exploratory and without much theory explaining exactly why negative emotions affect cursor movement. Researchers set out to study more specific situations in which negative emotion could affect cursor movements and do it in a way that minimized the risk of study results being too general. In order to achieve this goal, 3 independent studies were done with varying populations and procedures. The studies set out to answer 2 specific questions. Does negative emotion influence mouse cursor distance and speed? And can the tracking and analysis of mouse cursor distance and speed be used to infer negative emotion? A 3rd study was done focusing on the efficacy of inferring the level of negative emotion. The first study was set up by giving Amazon technical workers either a negative or non-negative emotion baseline test before going through an identical follow-up task while being recorded by the mouse cursor movement tracking software. The negative emotion baseline including giving subjects an intelligence test designed to frustrate the users. Examples of these interactions are things like a timer starting while users read instructions, users being forced to wait through 3 8-second long loading messages, and giving users 15 seconds to answer difficult questions before automatically advancing. Also, letting users know that other questions are being skipped due to the time being taken to answer. The non-negative baseline consisted of the same test, but without any of the negative stress-inducing factors. The follow-up task in both situations was the same, requiring participants to carry out a drag-and-drop number ordering task. The results showed that those who received the negative emotion condition indicated vastly different movements than those who received the baseline. The second study was centered around answering if tracking and analysis of mouse cursor movements, distance, and speed can be used to deduce negative emotion through testing 126 US college students. Like the previous experiment, users were given a negative emotion condition or a baseline condition before having to partake in a task on an e-commerce website. The negative emotion condition was similar to the first test, with a high number of loading screens and wait points designed to frustrate users. Through analyzation of movements, researchers were able to correctly deduce who received the negative emotion manipulation with 81% accuracy. The final study was geared towards understanding the efficacy of inferring the level of emotion through mouse cursor movement analysis. In this study, 80 participants from universities in Germany and Hong Kong took part in a simulation where they were asked to carry out 5 tasks on a website. These tasks were associated with varying levels of difficulty, and the users self-reported their emotional state immediately after completion. The results indicated high efficiency understanding the emotions the user was feeling through data analysis, and researchers were able to diagnose a higher level of negative emotion when present through the movement patterns. Through this research, a new level of data can be used to understand how users are interacting with information systems and any struggles they may be facing. With this data, there are many real-world applications that can be applied, such as improving the interactions of an e-commerce website where negative emotion is recorded during the checkout process. Resolving these issues create a better user experience and eliminate obstacles that could deter users from making purchases. Mouse cursor movement tracking can allow for understanding in areas of the system that cause negative emotion and allow for greater opportunities for improvement.